KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City, and streaming audio at KTLV1220.com.
This is Oklahoma Voice with Jonathan Clour on KTLV 1220.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Oklahoma Voice. I'm Jonathan Clour. This past week, we've had an excellent lineup of political folks that are running for local office, and we even heard from Arizona State Representative Carlisle Begay, and he explained to us why he had made the decision to change parties while he is seated in the Arizona legislature. Well, tonight we have Pam Pollard on the show. She is the current Oklahoma State Chairman of the Oklahoma Republican Party and newly elected at that. Pam, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's my pleasure to be here.
Hey, we're thrilled that you could make it on. Pam, we know that you were newly elected. Could you tell us a little bit about this election process and who came to vote?
Absolutely. The election process for the state chairman happens every 2 years at our state convention. And last April, I was one of the candidates running for our state chairman, and I actually came in second place to the gentleman that won, former state senator Randy Bogdan. Randy was elected April the 11th and was in office, and on a conference call on September the 10th, decided that he wanted to resign his office and notified us all the next morning after that conference call that he would be resigning. And the rules of our party say that when a vacancy arises, that for continuation of business, that the current state party vice chair steps up and becomes the interim chairman for a period of no less than 30 days and no more than 60 days. And they set a time limit on it for the intent of let's not leave things hanging for very long, but we need to give people enough notice. So we gave notice, and I believe the election was held 31 days after Randy resigned. So it's a very short election period, of which 2 weeks out of those 4 weeks, my family already had plans to go not only out of town, but out of state. So I was actually out of the state for 2 out of those 4 weeks.
Oh,
so
wow.
But we had a meeting of the state committee members according to our rules. Now, our state committee members is made up of 4 elected people from all 77 of our counties, as well as all of our Republican elected officials. So that's about 430 people that served on that committee. Now, I say that number because at the convention, we had almost 1,600 people at the convention voting. So almost all of these people had already seen me, had already heard me campaigning. They knew what my message was. My message was that I wanted to be their partner in leadership. I've been a grassroots girl and activist and leader for almost 20 years now, a little over 18 and a half years. And, they know me as just a grassroots worker. And I've been honored that they have elected me to be the leader of several levels within the Republican Party. So most of the people at that meeting already had a long-term relationship with me and my leadership and what I've been doing with the Republican Party. And I was very, very grateful that I won the election. And, I ran against 2 other candidates that was there. Our current vice chair also stepped up to run, and our 3rd district chairman stepped up to run. And I just really thank the voters of the state committee, the people like yourself at your county convention elected. And I look forward to working closely with our current vice chair and with our 3rd district chairman, Robert Hubbard. So all 3 of us remain friends, and I just think it's a great time to be a Republican in the state of Oklahoma.
It is, and we had the Vice Chair, Estela Hernandez, on the program last week, and she gave a very informative talk about the Oklahoma GOP, and just to remind the folks that are listening, you used to be Oklahoma's vice chair. Am I right?
You are correct. In 2011 to 2013, I served as state vice chair, and 2005 to 2007, and again from 2007 to 2009, I served as Oklahoma County Republican Party chair. So I've served every elected position in the Republican Party except for the district chair position. So I've been elected 14 different times to positions within the Republican Party, and I keep saying, all right, guys, I'm done. Y'all step up. No, we want you to do this. So I'm very honored to have, to have the confidence and the trust of our fellow activists out there. So,
and I think that probably explains the sweeping victory that you had too in this last election, because you were tried and true. Go ahead.
I think people were looking for stability. They were looking for experience. Someone who could go into the office the next day and had already been there, done that. I've been through 3 national conventions. Every one of the national conventions, I've been an elected leader in the state of Oklahoma. So I know exactly what we're facing this next year. So I think that's a strong reason why they elected me. I don't think they didn't choose one personality over another. Time after time, they said they were looking for someone with experience in this. So I think that's why everyone still thinks very, very highly of Mr. Hubbard and Estela Hernandez. And we're all working together, and I'm very proud of the team that we have.
The Oklahoma State Chairman wears many hats. They have to go raise money. They have to be somewhat the coordinator between all of the various groups within the Republican Party. There's a lot of weight on the shoulders of the chairman, and for the state party to survive, you have to have a competent chairman. What are all of the different responsibilities that the chairperson has to fulfill?
Well, I see them as really 4 great responsibilities all under one umbrella. Number one, the statute in the state of Oklahoma says that the political parties are in charge of the election for their parties in the state of Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. So what we do at the Oklahoma Republican Party is fulfill what that statute says. We're in charge of the election. So first and foremost, we have to remember we are here to elect Republicans. We're here to make sure that we have fair and open elections in the state of Oklahoma. Now, the Republican Party, we would have the option to choose to be a caucus state, and which means that we would gather together as a group similar to a state convention, and we would elect our elected officials there, our leaders. We would elect our nominees for president there. But the Oklahoma Republican Party has chosen to be a part of the state election system. So therefore, we turn our elections over to the state election board, and that's why we are on the public ballot, as opposed to being on a private ballot, like we're going to hear soon about the Iowa caucuses, the New Hampshire caucuses. So a large part of what we do is actually defined in statute. But in order to get all of that done, we have to have an organization in all 77 counties. We need to make sure that we have people representing all spectrums of the citizens of the state of Oklahoma. So a lot of what I do is go out and recruit people, recruit leaders, recruit people, activists, people that want to get involved and are willing to be the local manager in their 77 counties, their chair, their vice chair. They need a treasurer. They need somebody that, to just come in and turn the lights on. And sometimes they need somebody to pay the bill. So it takes, it's kind of like in church, Jonathan, some are called to be apostles, some prophets,
Yeah.
Some are called to sit on the bench. It doesn't matter. The Bible says that, that the little toe is just as powerful as the all-seeing eye. So that's the way I look at people and the Republican Party. Title doesn't mean anything. Being involved is what matters. So that's a huge part. And then, yes, you mentioned the fundraising side of it. We're a private organization. We have no taxpayer dollars. We have no support from any one particular group or organization. We are totally supported by people reaching out and saying, I support what you're doing and I want to make a donation to your organization. We are not tax deductible. Political contributions for federal income tax purposes are not tax deductible. Now, on your state income tax, they give you up to $100 a person, maximum of $200 per household per year. So people can, if you give me $200, then we'll be able to use that money very wisely, and you can take that off of your tax return. So I bring that up because people think that we are funded by the state, or people think that we have a steady revenue source, and we simply do not. It is up to the chairman to reach out and to hold events. This Friday, we're bringing in Governor Greg Abbott from Texas. Used to be the Attorney General in Texas, and now is the Governor of Texas.
Wow.
He'll be with us tomorrow night. We still have some tickets available.
Okay.
If people want to give us a call, they can go to our website at okgop.com. They can call our offices. The number's on our website, but I'll give it to your viewers at 405-528-3501. Or they can email me, Pam, that's Pam, at okgop.com, and get tickets for tomorrow night to have a little fireside chat with Attorney General Scott Pruitt is actually going to be hosting our fireside chat, just having some little discussion back and forth with the newly elected governor of Texas. So we have opportunities for people that want to give $25, $50. The cost of the dinner tomorrow night is $75, but if you're willing to donate $75, you can sit and visit with Governor Abbott or Attorney General Pruitt one-on-one and just let them know what you think or to hear what they feel about issues. And that's a very, very powerful tool. So dollars does mean something in Oklahoma.
Definitely. And some of these facts that you're bringing up, so many people do not understand because, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a lot of folks are ignorant about government. They're ignorant about our parties because they simply just don't know. And there are so many great opportunities to get involved, or just as you say, to listen to a local elected official or perhaps a visiting governor to come into your own home turf and to sit down and talk. There's so many different opportunities. Are there any other events, Pam, that are going on that we should know about?
Yes, as a matter of fact, a week from Monday on December 14th, we're going to hold a very, very timely event. Now, let me say, this has been scheduled for over 30 days.
Okay.
But Congressman Steve Russell is going to hold our second fireside chat. And I asked him that right after I got elected. I said, Congressman, he's been a long-time friend of mine. I said, Congressman, I'd really love to have you come and that's when I thought about this fireside chat series, do a fireside chat and sit down and just share with us your thoughts on the Middle East. Now, for those that don't know Congressman Russell, he's also retired Lieutenant Colonel Steve Russell that served. He was an Army Ranger. He was the battalion commander over the battalion that actually captured Saddam Hussein. Mm-hmm. He was living in the Middle East with the United States Army at the time. He knows tremendous amount of military knowledge of what's going on in the Middle East. Now, as congressman, he knows the political knowledge of what is going on in the Middle East. And then, again, part of his mission was to live amongst the people, to reach out to the communities. And that's how they captured Saddam Hussein. One of his own people told us where he was. As we've all seen the pictures, he was buried in a little tiny, what we would call a storm cellar.
Right.
Underneath some boxes and some stuff. But it took the intelligence of the American soldiers reaching out to the community, being a part of the community, and convincing the community that they were there to help them. And I'm very proud to know Colonel Russell, Congressman Russell, and I think the perspective he's going to bring to the discussion on the Middle East is going to be intriguing, and it's going to be, for a lot of people, it's going to be extremely enlightening. So that is going to be on December the 14th, a week from Monday. Again, you can get tickets. The tickets on that is just $60. It's a little bit more of an informal type event. We're just going to have some heavy hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have some apple cider. We're just going to sit around and let Steve talk to us about what's been going on and his thoughts and views on the Middle East. I'm sure he'll talk about the Syrian refugee crisis. I know that's something that all of us have on our hearts. It's heartbreaking that a country is two things. They're running their citizens out, and the citizens feel like they're having to flee for their lives. And I know there's a lot of discussion about that, but and that's not for you and I. We can't tell exactly what's going on. But somebody like Congressman Russell has a tremendous amount of
experience.
Let's say the inside track.
Yeah.
He gets briefings on things that I'm sure he can't talk to us about,
Sure.
but tremendous amount of insight to help us begin to understand just what's going on in the Middle East. And after what happened here just a couple days ago, we don't know what happened in San Bernardino just yet. I will admit I have been very busy with the events we're putting on, so I haven't been able to hear. I haven't heard any news today to know a little bit more about that. But we all feel like that there is a threat on America from the Middle East, and Congressman Russell is going to be able to talk to us about that. So, any of your listeners that want to attend that, please again go to our website at okgop.com, and it should be up on our banner. Otherwise, it's definitely under our events. I believe the website is okgop.com/fireside.
All right. Well, I've got that written down. And Pam, you're exactly right. I feel that we needed someone like Congressman Russell that has the experience in the Middle East and now has a voice in the United States Congress, and he can somewhat be that bridge between military and the Congress. And when those two are coming together, we need folks that are experienced on both sides of the fence. And so many times, we get folks that might be put on a committee or something like that might not be quite as knowledgeable because they haven't had to go overseas and to deal, with these folks face to face and to be able to handle these issues. And another thing, what a blessing it is that we don't have to experience this, that we don't have to feel that we have to flee like the Syrians are doing. And, I think it's all about upholding our founding documents, the vision that the United States was founded upon, the Constitution, the 10 Amendments. It's these things that hold freedom. And I feel that our freedoms are at stake. And many times I tell people that in the preamble, we have a constitutional charge, and that is to promote the general welfare and to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Yes, and Pam, do you feel that our posterity is going to be given the short end of the stick? Our future generations, is there a way that we can somewhat bolster ourselves to continue to provide for the future and to not worry that they're going to have their freedom stripped away?
Well, very, very plainly, yes, there is a way to ensure that. And if I can be very plain with you, Jonathan, and with your listening audience, the answer is quit spending money. That's what my husband tells me when I'm out at the store and I want this and I want that. He says, we don't have the money. And he says, quit spending. And you know what? If we don't have the money, the bank isn't going to go down there and say, oh, Pam, go ahead and spend all you want to. We'll just add money to your account. Or it doesn't matter how far you go into debt. We've got you covered, Pam. Don't worry. Your kids will come up here and pay whatever it is that you run your bank account. That's not how life works. And that's not how our nation works. Jonathan, it is not how our founding fathers ever intended our nation to be run. Our government is not here to continue to provide every necessity for every human being's life. It's here to provide the infrastructure and the fundamentals that guarantees exactly what you said. It guarantees what is in our preamble, the freedom, liberty. Now, we as Christians, we as whatever denomination it is, but we as Americans that have the biggest heart in the world, we always want to provide for those that are needy, those that are less fortunate. But it's not the role of government. It's the role of the individuals. It's the role of families. It's the role of the church. Read what your Bible says, that if there's a widow in need and a widow in need, it says for the family members to take care of them. But it also allows that if the family's not there, where is the backup for those widows in need that may not have families? The Bible says it's for the church to take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's never been the role of government. And we've gotten things out of order. We've gotten things out of order with God. We've gotten things out of order with our nation. Now, do I want to cut off food stamps? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we've got to start rebuilding our process to do what we can to let government take care of what government was intended to do, and the rest of us take care of helping our needy brothers and sisters, which are our fellow Americans here. So, yes, we do have hope for our future, and it's to stop it. Stop spending the money for future generations.
That's a sobering response, and it's something that our nation needs to hear. For our folks just tuning in, we are visiting with Oklahoma State Chairman of the Republican Party, Pam Pollard, and we want to remind our folks how to tune into our program. You can tune into Oklahoma Voice by using your TuneIn Radio app. If you don't have it already downloaded to your phone, I want to remind you that it is 100% free. Simply go to your app store and in the selection on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart device, enter TuneIn Radio into the selection bar, and then click Download. After you have it installed on your device, open the app, find the search bar at the top of your screen, and enter KTLV. You'll find it at the top of your list. Select KTLV and then push play. It's that easy. Or we have one more option to gain access to Oklahoma Voice, and that is by live streaming at KTLV.com. I also want to remind our listeners that we've created a channel on YouTube where you can rewatch any shows that you might have missed at Oklahoma Voice with Jonathan Clour. These are all recorded by webcam and downloaded the evening of the show. So if you want to see what's happening in the studios during the broadcast, we suggest you visit our YouTube channel. Pam, I know that you have been in office for the past few weeks now, serving as Oklahoma State Chairman. And I know that have gotten to given you some insight about the current state of our Oklahoma GOP. What is the state of the Republican Party right now?
It's a state of excitement, Jonathan. Quite frankly, when I was elected, it hasn't been quite 60 days ago, but I walked in and I had been with the party I've been in elected office with the party for almost 10 years now. So I walked in and I sat down behind a desk that I had never sat down behind before, and I said, I feel like I'm home. Let's get going. So what is the state of the party? It's the state of whatever we make it to be. That's why I'm so excited that the delegates and that the people at the state committee elected me to this position, because I see great hope for the future of our Republican Party. I see great hope that we have 31 open seats this year because of term limits. First time in history we've had that many open legislative seats. So I look at that as I say it's a new frontier. It's a new opportunity to go out and recruit good candidates. This is what our nation, back to our founding fathers, our founding documents, they're supposed to be citizen legislators. And the wise voters of Oklahoma in 2002 voted to institute term limits, which went into effect in 2004. And because of that, our legislators only serve 12 years. And after 12 years, we get a new legislator, a new citizen to come in and say, I have the heart to step up and run to represent the people in my district. So we're going to have 31 new voices, and that's 31 out of 149, 101 in the House, 48 in the Senate. So that's almost a fourth of our entire legislature it's going to be new people. So that's why it's so exciting to me. The character and the quality of the candidates that we can recruit, the new opportunity for people to feel like that they're being represented with a conservative voice, a new voice at our state capitol. Now, that being said, in order to do that, the process with the Republican Party is, we are a republic. Our nation is a republic, which means we have a representative form of government. And Jonathan, I know you've been involved with the political process and with the Republican Party in the past, and you know what it's like to attend a precinct meeting.
Yeah.
Now, precincts are determined simply by our census for the purpose of being able to draw congressional lines to make sure that our congressmen equally represent the number of voters in every congressional district in the state of Oklahoma represents the exact same number of voters. People want to know why 2nd District is the entire eastern side of the state of Oklahoma and why 3rd District is the entire western side of the state of Oklahoma. Because by law, they have to represent the same number of people. So we have these precinct meetings, and it's an opportunity for people to come in and sit down and help develop what we call our platform, which is, in our churches, we call it our statement of belief. What is it that we stand behind? What are the issues that we think the Republican Party holds most near and most dear to us? And we look at these issues when we start trying to support a candidate. So we'll be electing delegates to go to our county conventions. This year, we're going to have district conventions in all 5 congressional districts for one sole purpose, Jonathan. And I want your listeners to get excited about this. We're going to be holding district conventions where each district will elect 3 delegates to go to the National Republican Convention, where they will cast their vote for the Republican nominee for President of the United States of America. That's the opportunity you have if you will get involved in the Republican Party. Then at the state level, after the district conventions, we will all gather together at the state level, and we're going to elect 25 delegates that will get to go to the national convention and cast their vote for the Republican nominee for President of the United States. And that's how, as a delegate, that is how our republic is run in the state of Oklahoma. I think everyone knows this, but I'm a political geek, so. But for the last 3 presidential elections, every single county in the state of Oklahoma the majority has voted for the Republican nominee for president. So all 77 counties have voted for the Republican nominee for president in the last 3 presidential years, which means 4 times 3 is 12 years. 12 years in a row now. So I'm looking to make this 16 years in a row. And what that means, that when they gather together after the November elections and our electors gather together at the state capitol the first week of December, that we're going to have 7 people that stand there and write the name of the President of the United States on a piece of paper. And that's how our president is elected.
Yes. People don't realize what kind of influence you can have on the grassroots level and how it ties directly into the national level, just as you say. And I'm so happy that you fleshed that out, because perhaps, and I'm willing to say, a lot of our listeners don't realize that. And so we need more folks like you that can, get on board and that can make a difference and then explain to us how to get involved. Madam Chairman, I want to thank you so much for coming on this evening. Are there any other final words that you'd like to leave our audience? And perhaps you could remind us of the GOP website and social media addresses one more time.
Yes, absolutely. Let me give you our contact information, then I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. OKGOP.com is our website. Go to our Facebook page, Oklahoma Republican Party. Please go like our Facebook page. We try to post as frequently as possible, and especially we're going to be having a tremendous amount of activity coming up here in the next 6 months. But for your listeners, I want to invite all of your listeners that are registered Republicans to come out to their precinct meetings. Now, the different counties might be holding them at different times, so go check our website. We will have that information up as quickly as possible, but most counties are going to be meeting on or around February the 9th.
Okay.
So the first week in February, everybody needs to start looking. If you're a registered Republican, please come out, go to your precinct meetings, see what it's like to be one of the people who gets to cast a vote for a delegate. And remember that your vote is going to lead to the next presidential nominee of the Republican Party for the president of the greatest nation on the planet.
Love it. Love it. We've got these dates down. Well, Madam Chairman, thank you so much for coming on to Oklahoma Voice. We send you and your family warm wishes this holiday season, and we look forward to your quick return.
Well, you let me know when it comes a little bit closer to our precinct meetings, Jonathan. If it's all right, I will let you know. I'd love to have an invitation to come back on, give your listeners more information, more specific details when those dates are set, locations are set, and we'll make sure that they have a very informative place to go so that everyone understands they can make a difference in politics in the state of Oklahoma.
Yes, Pam, you got it, and I'm going to be putting that down in my calendar right now, and I'll be giving you a shout.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to come and talk to your listeners.
You're so welcome, Pam. We thank you for your time.
Well, God bless and have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you. Well, folks, we've just visited with Pam Pollard. She is our newly elected Oklahoma State Chairman of the Republican Party. And as we had just discussed, she will be coming on the program when it gets closer to precinct meeting time and district meeting time, and she will fill us in on all of the dates and times for that, as well as some events that will be happening around the holiday season as well. Now, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow, December 4th at 7 p.m., we will have music industry mogul Ruben Roman on the show. He is better known by his stage name, El Demonio. He is a former rapper and hip-hop artist and one of the first Latin rappers in the American music industry to hit the big time. He's written, performed, and produced music and shared albums with some of the most prominent names in the industry, such as R. Kelly, Snoop Dogg, T-Pain, Akon. And by a leap of faith, he left the limelight at the peak of his music career to start his own record label. And he helped found and promote a record label that is designed for Native American musicians and indigenous people that are wanting to get a musical career started. He will be giving his experience and his testimony of today's music industry and his journey to stardom. And he's choosing to use his gifts to give back to indigenous peoples of America. You do not want to miss this exclusive interview. Well, folks, it is that time again. Thank you so much for tuning in to Oklahoma Voice. We are on Monday through Friday evenings starting at 7 p.m. only on KTLV 1220. I'm Jonathan Clour. Good night, good luck, and thunder up.
This has been Oklahoma Voice with Jonathan Clour. Tune in Monday through Friday night at 7 p.m. on the TuneIn Radio app, by live streaming at KTLV.com, or by radio on station 1220 AM. Hi, this is